The opening goal there coming from Andy Smith. Andre Bowen, the Morton goal, didn't have an answer, and it's 1-0 Dunfermline.
It was well read by Donaldson, but Colin Miller drags the ball away to safety and sets up. Andy Smith is onside on the right wing. He has Andy Tutt winning in the middle with Greg Shaw. Superb finish by Smith. 2 goals in 2 minutes from Dunfermline. Suddenly the match had been turned on its head.
Dunfermline again on the charge. Derek Fleming out on the left. He gets round Barry Smith. Looks to get the cross in. Pinpoint accuracy for Andy Smith. The big striker does what he used to do for Airdrie.
Mark Miller's free kick. It's a good one. There's Andy Smith. The breakthrough for Dunfermline. Jubilation around Eastern Park.
8 minutes later, and Andy Smith made sure of those 3 points. The cross there from former Hearts man Colin Miller. 2-1 Dunfermline.
Dunfermline boasts some of the tallest players in the league, so they're always a danger in the air, and that proves the point. 2 minutes gone, Andy Smith makes it 1-0.
Well, Dunfermline then pulled off the great escape. Hamish French with a header picked at Stuart Petrie, and his cross was met by Andy Smith. 1 each.
Hamish French, he looks up, crosses for Andy Smith. The big striker fumbles at first, but does ever so well to get it second time round into the back of the net. So could the Pars get the confidence here? In comes the cross. There's Andy Smith, cool as you like. No defensive marking there. Late in the game and the equaliser for Dunfermline. The long ball from Westwater doing the damage. Hamish French picks it up. Now the Kilmarnock defence really caught flat-footed here. The space given to Andy Smith. 6'3", and it's 1-1.
Dunfermline put the outcome beyond any reasonable doubt with virtually the last kick of the first half, supplied on the volley by Andy Smith. But this was a thoroughly professional afternoon's work from Bert Payton's Premier posse, polished off nicely with a 4th goal. Ryan Rice's pass, Andy Smith's finish for his 2nd of the day, and a safe place in the 4th round draw.
The Dons' miserable afternoon completed in the final minute by Andy Smith. Puts it past Michael Watt. 3-0 to Dunfermline. Well, with the appalling conditions, it's no surprise the game was settled by a scrappy goal. The Rovers' defence at sea. Stuart Petrie's ball breaks to Andy Smith, and the big striker manages to score.
Then Damon going across behind Welsh. Here's Bingham, he's onside. Here's French waiting in the centre. Back it comes to Smith. Beautifully finished. Here's Bingham now. Can he take this for a run? That's good play. Much better play this time by Bingham. Brian Rice on the outside. This could tie it up for Dunfermline. They can make this count. It's a good ball in, and Fraser with a chance. That's Smith. 3-1 to Dunfermline.
And their constant pressure finally pays off. Smith's downward header finds Bingham. His shot scrambled off the line by Poynton, but Smith lunges well to slot home the opener. 1-0 the Pars. And a touch of the Gabriel Batistutas into the bargain.
Killie had this game put back a day because they were battle-weary after their European exertions last week, and that fatigue showed throughout their visit to East End Park. Andy Smith bagged his 7th of the season for the home side.
All changed now in the second half. Bert Payton's team coming out with the win behind them, and they look like a different side. Andy Smith with the goal. A good move this. The ball played wide left for Shields. His pass into the middle, and Andy Smith wasting no time with celebrations.
George Shaw crossing for Andy Smith, and Alan Main is beaten.
Dunfermline did open the scoring though just a minute later. The Hamish French corner, the head tennis, the save, and the goal from Andy Smith. 1-0 to the Fifers, 17 minutes gone. But this is how Dunfermline tied up the points. Andy Smith twisting past Hughes and firing the ball into the net. 2-0 Dunfermline.
But just 4 minutes later, Dunfermline crosses in, and Andy Smith fires low past Lekovic. 2-1.
That goal seemed to really annoy Dunfermline's Andy Smith, because he then proceeded to reply with 5 of his own. First coming here just after the half-hour mark. A
fine run and cross from Stuart Petrie, dispatched beyond Alan McIntosh by the head of Andy Smith, who then proceeded to complete his hat-trick as Dunfermline moved into fifth gear. Again, it was a header, this time the perfect looping cross supplied by Alan Moore. And in case you've lost count, that's now 5-1 to Dunfermline. No surprise to see Andy Smith at the front of the queue to take it, nor is it a surprise that he's reminding us what his goal tally is now, 4. George Shaw played it in, Andy Smith mopped up after McIntosh failed to claim.
But Bert Payton's men were showing the fight which he says has been missing in recent weeks, and they took the lead for the first time in the game through Andy Smith. In the middle of the second half, it's 2-1 Dunfermline. Smith's 6th goal in 2 games, his 19th of the season.
Bert Payton's side equalised when Stuart Petrie's cross accurately picked out Andy Smith, and he headed his 20th goal of the season. Dunfermline 1, Dundee United 1. But then in the last minute of the match, McCulloch's long throw found its way to the feet of Andy Smith, and he joins McSwiggan on the 2-goal mark. A dramatic late equaliser by Smith.
9 minutes later, a hesitant well defence failed to clear their lines, and Andy Smith blasted the ball past Stevie Woods for the Pars equaliser. 16 minutes into the second half, Dunfermline scored the decisive goal. Again, poor defending by Motherwell, and again that man Smith there to take the glory. 23 for the season for Dunfermline's number 9. Only Marco Negri has scored more.
Alec Cleland's weak back header is exactly the type of thing the manager's been complaining about. No grumbles from Andy Smith. The top Scottish goal scorer in the Premier Division is Andy Smith, and here's why he's taken some of the profile normally enjoyed by McCoist and Negri. 2-2.
And it was that man Andy Smith continuing his hot streak, steering home Greg Shields' cross.
Dunfermline took the lead in first half injury time. Geordie Shaw, the supplier for the goal machine, Andy Smith. The striker happily recovered from what looked to be a bad injury at Celtic Park 2 weeks ago.
It's a bit of a soft decision. Andy Smith wasn't soft with the kick though. 1 each.
Shields with the cross, Andy Smith's there again, good header, that's it! Opening goal, Andy Smith! Well, he gave them the warning only moments ago, and Andy Smith has opened the scoring for Dunfermline.
The linesman flags for a foul here on Alan Preston. The Saints' defence were rooted to the positions, waiting for a decision. Stuart Dougal waved play on, and as the defence stood like statues, in nipped Andy Smith for his 5th goal of the season.
It wasn't too long before his perseverance paid off. At 6'1", Smith is the perfect person to be at the end of a corner,
which Pars captain Andy Smith took and scored.
George Shaw with some great work down the wing and the provider of a superb cross. And who else but Andy Smith to head his side into the lead. And another header from Smith into the top right-hand corner. 2-0 Dunfermline.
Already sitting 4 points behind United, the Pars knew they had to up the pace. And just 1 minute into the second half they did. Andy Smith grabbing his 9th of the season.
The cross from Scott Thompson is the stuff goal scorers dream of. Andy Smith deserves full credit for anticipating a possible rebound chance. 2-2.
Andy Smith given the chance to start his season well.
Greg Shields spent Friday locked in talks with Charlton, but after failing to agree personal terms, it was the Pars fullback who supplied the cross for Andy Smith. Keep an eye on the 2 players over the ball at the free kick. A quick run around as Smith makes his run, and Dunfermline are 2 goals up.
And when Scott Thompson's cross comes in, it's Smith on hand to bundle the ball into the net.